is João Pagani. I'm the CEO of Living Group. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Georgina, to invite us to participate in this webinar. Hello, Jakarta. Hello, KL. Hello to all to attend to this webinar. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you to introduce ourselves, introduce the new route of investment that we will work in the last months. Living Group is a Portuguese holding. We are on the market since 2012. We deliver so far 350 units, and we are responsible for more than 500 golden visas. In the last month, we've been working in a new route of investment. A new route of investment according with the new legal framework. This new route that we are here to introduce to you is maybe one of the best ones on the market. I believe that put us ourselves, Living Group, in the pole position with of golden visa products. Seems with this new route of investment, you'll be able to invest in our operation, in the hospitality management operation as a shareholders in our holding. And with that, we are able to reduce your investment in almost 25%. We have overtime yield during 8 and 10 years. And in the last but not the least, we have an exit with a divided of the profit with the selling of the resorts. And all the perks that we have in this project, they are very interesting, all with the guarantee of Living Group. Is a call just for 62 investors on the project of 62 units. So you know exactly where you're going to invest. You know exactly the type of project that we go to development, and you have that project, that beautiful eco resort, has a collateral and has a guarantee. With that, I will pass now to Nuno Oliveira, our Chief Commercial Office, and João Baião, our Executive Sales, to introduce Vila Magna and our workflow. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy.
Thank you, João. Would also like to thank Judith and Georgina for making this possible. Now let's jump into the project scope. So as João very well mentioned, the potential investors will be investing in an hospitality management company that will develop the complex that you can see on the screen. So in terms of the project scope, the project will be in the Algarve region, so in the south of Portugal, a very touristic area. And as you can see by the left side of the screen, that there's a master plan on the land plot, on the complex. So the complex will be located in a 50,000 square meter land plot, as you can see. 6.5K of those are construction area. It's also very important to let you know that the project is fully approved and it will be a 5-star eco resort. So on the left, you can see the entrance with 24-hour security. And the first building is what we call the services building. This building will have 2 restaurants, a bar, a reception, and a lobby. In front of it, you can also see a lounge area and also a water mirror or a lake to bring the energy onto this space. Now, the 4 buildings on the right, so these 4 that you can see, will hold the 62 touristic apartments as mentioned before. We will have 2 typologies, so we will have 18 studios and 44 one-bedroom apartments, 2 pools, one for children and one for adults. And here in the middle of the land plot is what we call the heart and lungs of the project, also the sports village composed by football and basketball courts, tennis and paddle courts, gymnasium, and in the middle, a kids' playground. Very important as well, and since this will be an eco resort, a key element is of course the sustainability. Therefore, Living Group will build here on the back a photovoltaic park, and the idea is of course to extract the energy from the sun and then feed the buildings on our left. Finally, the image on the right is a bird's view of the complex. So in this case, of the construction area. And again, first building is the services building, and then the touristic apartments will be split by these 4 buildings. Very important as well. So just for you to know, the concept of the complex will be Amazonia. Therefore, we felt the need to bring the vibrant colors and energy onto both the interior and the exterior of the project. So here are some renders of the interiors. So on the left, bathroom, and on the right, the bedroom on the 1-bedroom apartments. And as you can see, those browns and greens that bring the jungle onto the building. If we go over to the next slide, we have a panoramic view of the entire complex. Again, the Amazonia concept can be seen throughout the entire complex. So all the environments, all the landscape that you can see here. And let's not forget that all the apartments will also have access to a parking slot, services building with the lake, and then the 4 buildings along with the pools, and on the back, the sports village. So let's dive into the business operation model. So Living Group Pagani Capital is now a holding. Let me go back so you can have a view. So Living Group is the brand we live by, and then we have Pagani Capital SGPS, which means holding in English. Down below, you can see the 3 companies, the 3 subsidiaries that belong to the group. First one, the Pagani Bridge Venture. Second one, Infinite Management. And lastly, Piece of Work. So the hospitality management company that the clients will invest in, so the company that will manage the complex over time, that will also be the company that will be responsible for the maintenance of at least 10 jobs and for a minimum period of 3 years, will be Infinite Management. It's important to note that this is also the company that currently holds the asset, okay? Currently holds the asset, and it's the hospitality management company. Now, since, and as Gustavo very well mentioned, this is a kind of it's not a new option, but it doesn't have that much of a track record. We, Living Group, decided to provide the clients with some guarantees on this option. First and foremost, we will, if anything goes wrong, for example, with the business model operation or with Living Group related to the client's golden visa, of course, we will fully refund the clients. Those guarantees will not only be provided by Infinite Management, the company that the clients will invest in, but also by the parent company, so the holding company, Pagani Capital SGPS. Moving on to the next slide. So the process workflow. So here we have how the process will work over time. So on an initial stage, we have the due diligence. Of course, the legal representatives of the clients will run a due diligence on the company and on the business model. And then we move on to the reservation stage. At this stage, the client will choose the slots and will sign the reservation agreement and will pay the 15,000 euros to lock the units. Moving on to stage 3, as the clients are becoming shareholders of our company, we will run an internal and KYC check. So this is the stage where the client will share some personal documents such as passport and proof of address. Now, points 4 and 5 are very important. So the signature of the legal package, which is a set of contracts that the client will sign that intend to manage the relationship between living group and the clients over the investment period. And also point 5, the transfer of 500K in order for the clients to become eligible for the golden visa. So on point 6, we have the reservation return. So basically, we will return the 15,000 euros that were paid on point 2. And now, please bear with me for the next 3 points, the financials of the project and what we call the goal of the project. First and foremost, the upfront yield payment. So just to give you right now an idea, all the slots will cost the same, will cost a total of 375,000 euros. But as mentioned before, so 1.5, the clients transferred 500 to become eligible for the golden visa. Therefore, within 7 days of that transfer, Living Group will pay as an upfront yield 125,000 euros. And by doing this, we decrease the minimum investment from 500 to 375K within 7 days. Now, second point of the financials is the point 8 up there, overtime yield payment. All the clients will also have access to an annual yield that will be paid right from year 1 and up to year 10 and starts at 2% in the first 3 years and ends up at 4% in the last 4 years. We will also see a bar chart where you can visualize the returns over time. Last but not least, point 9, the asset liquidation. So between years 8 and 10, Living Group will be responsible to sell the entire asset in the open market. And by doing so, it will also split the profits 50% for each part. So 50 for the investors and 50 for Living Group. So moving on to the next slides. Investment costs. So here you can have a better idea of how the process will work in the initial stage of the investment. So as mentioned before, for this particular option, the minimum investment required is 500,000 euros. Now, if you recall, the operation price is the total of 375, which is basically the 2 parcels that you see on the screen, the slot price plus the company maintenance. So if we sum up these two, we have a total of 375, as you can see here below. So the client transferred 500. Within 7 days, Living Group will pay back as an upfront yield 125,000 euros, therefore bringing the investment down from 500 to 375. This is roughly a 25% decrease on the initial investment. Now, earnings over time. So here you can have a clear idea on how the investors or what the investors will receive over a 10-year period. So at the moment, T plus 0 is what we call the moment of the investment. The clients will receive 125,000 euros as an upfront yield. So at this stage, we reduce the minimum investment from 500 to 375. Now, from year 1 to 3, which will be the duration of the construction, it will take around 36 months to build the complex. The clients will receive 2% over the investment value. So as you can see, 7,000 euros per year over 3 years. Now, by the end of year 3, we have the hotel hub and we can start to generate income. Therefore, we are able to increase these percentages from 2 to 3% over years 4, 5, and 6. So over these years, the client expects to receive around 10,500 euros. And finally, by the end of year 6, we have an hotel up and running, already generating revenue, with a brand already established in the market. Therefore, we are able to again increase the percentages from 3 to 4% on years 7, 8, 9, and 10, where the client will receive 14,000 euros of return. It's very important to note that these percentages are guaranteed, are set in stone. So regardless of the performance of the hotel, the clients will receive these amounts. And if we sum up the overtime yield, and the overtime yield is the one paid from year 1 to year 10, we have a total of around 110,000 euros. And let's not, of course, forget the upfront yield, so the one that is paid at the moment of the investment, of around 125,000 euros. Moving on, so here we have the expected returns after asset liquidation. And what is this? So as mentioned before, the clients will invest with Living Group, will get the upfront yield in an initial stage, will get the overtime yield, and between year 8 and 10, Living Group will be responsible to liquidate the asset, so to sell the asset within the open market. So we will also show later on a valuation on the property by year 6 of the operation. And as you can see below, the total overtime yield will be around 108,000 euros, and the expected liquidation price, so the price per investor on the exit moment, will be around 565,000 euros. So if we sum these two up, we have roughly 670,000 euros by between year 8 and year 10 when the exit occurs. Now, some perks and offers. So all the clients, so all the apartments, the price already has this, so all the apartments come fully furnished and equipped. It's also very important, and as Gustavo mentioned before, the clients will have to spend an average of 7 days per year in Portugal. So Living Group will also offer a 7-day free stay in the low season, and also applicable discounts in the medium and high season. This will not only work for the Vila Magna Resort, but also for other hotels of our group. And finally, the overtime yield, as mentioned before, so 2, 3, and 4% over a 10-year period. Now, the valuation. Living Group, we like to require independent valuations mainly on our commercial properties, so specifically for the hotels. And as you can see here, we have requested an independent valuator certified by RICS, 3 valuations on the property. One of the property as is today, another one of the property after construction, and lastly on the property, so on the hotel, on the 6th year of operation. So as you can see from the top, the proposed value of the property is around 25 million. This is after construction, so when the hotel is up and is ready to start generating income, and the proposed value for the services building is around 2.4 million when it's built. Now, the proposed value for the property on the 6th year of operation, so again, as mentioned before, when we have a brand already established, will be around 35 million, which gives an increase of around 40% on the property value. So this is all backed by the data, so Portuguese GDP, average price per night, tourism numbers in the Algarve, but we still believe that this is a very conservative amount. Nonetheless, it shows how the asset can not only hold value, but gain value over time for the moment where the investors will exit the complex. Finally, awards and partnerships, also very important for our clients and partners. Living Group is associated at the Portuguese Association of Property Developers and Investors. And on the left, you can see Pagani Bridge Venture, a subsidiary of the holding that has been recently awarded by Bank for its performance, competitiveness, and involvement. I think this is it from my side. I would now like to hand over to Judith.
Thank you. Okay, so if you have any inquiries, any questions, there's a Q&A button at the bottom. Do type your questions there, and otherwise we will be able to contact you. Usually, the next appointment is with Gustavo and the developers if you like to go through any questions you may have on the Portugal Golden Visa. So we can do a one-on-one Zoom with you, or feel free to ask us any questions here too. I'm mindful of time. We may not be able to cover all the questions, but for sure we will reach out to you, or you can also reach out to us. In summary, the Portugal Golden Visa has changed, but it is still a legitimate and active and probably still one of the world's the best residency programs. Why? Because as you can see, the investments are still good and sound, and also we only have to stay an average of 7 days per year to gain European residency and eventually citizenship if we want. Investments start from 500,000, but in this case, it's actually reduced. That's why this is one of our chosen investments and one of our favorites. It is an opportunity to invest in an asset-backed business with chances of upside. Villa Magna is also a rare development in a great location in Algarve, and Algarve won the leading Europe beach destination. So it had, in 2023, more than 5 million visitors, 5.13 million visitors, and it raised more than 1 billion to the country's economy. So it is a very good place, in fact, to have a business, a very good place to have an asset. And so with returns, your upfront investment is only 375,000. You have a good chance of upside after liquidation. You have a yield meanwhile as well. The developers, Living Group, we've been dealing with them at IPS. We actually have more than 130 Portugal Golden Visa clients. Some of you have known us since 2019. We actually have started promoting the Portugal Golden Visa since 2017. We've been actually dealing with Living Group since almost when we started, since one of their first developments, Mondrian, and we're very proud to have seen these developments completed, and we have very happy clients as well in their developments. I can say their developments are of very good quality. The developers are one of the most experienced developers in Portugal since 2012. And you have with us a trustworthy team of Portugal Golden Visa experts from all around Asia, and also in Indonesia, you have Georgina. She's fantastic at processing the Portugal Golden Visas and assisting with all the inquiries that you might have as well.